guys, welcome to this video. So this video we're going to talk about how to join the Navy. Now I got kicked out, but let me show you proof that I was in the Navy before I go any further. So further ado, let's get into this. This is my DD-214. You'll get this once you get out of the Navy, and it just shows how long I was in there and whatnot. I didn't pass through boot camp, sadly, but I could tell you how to get in. Alright, so for real, my name is Angel, and let's get into this video. Mwah. First things first, you need to pass the ASVAB. Okay, the ASVAB is filled with, I think it was 7 categories. It's just math and English. The first 4 subjects will tell you an AFQT score. AFQT score is what you want to be, a 31 or higher. Now, anything below that, you wouldn't be able to make it into the Navy. But I got a 24, but you gotta ask your recruiter if they could request a point waiver. So I got 24, but you could still get in with the 24 if they accept your waiver, which most likely they will. So first, make sure before you hit up a recruiter that one, you know your math and your reading, your English. Make sure you got your good reading. Make sure you know some basic math. So the ASVAB starts off with the basics and go. The advanced is geometry with math, and with reading, I'll start off with basics and then go off to bigger reading comprehension. And then there's reading vocabulary. Make sure you know your words, and it will give you clues for something, like it'll say a sentence and the word you gotta interpret, and then a finished off sentence. And then you got to it'll give you it was a 4 answer narrow thing, the 4 you gotta pick your answer. There's 4. And yeah, make sure you know your ASVAB, and make sure you study before you hit up a recruiter. But once you hit up your recruiter, this is what they're gonna have you do. They're gonna have you sit in the office, and there's gonna be a talk on interview. You're gonna have to sign some papers about why you want to join. It's like a job application. They'll hear you about why you want to join, what made you want to join. Like, I put money. Why I want to join, I put down money. You could put down money, or I put down money. And then after you fill that out, they're gonna have you take. So maybe they put me in a different room, but maybe every office is different because I'm from New York. So they are going to have you do a fake ASVAB test just to see where you will score. And once you hit a certain score, for me, it had to be a 10. But once I hit that, then I could finish on and take the real ASVAB. So once you pass that, and once you got the score they want you to get, they'll let you know. They're gonna put it down on paper, and they're gonna schedule you for you to take your ASVAB. Right, once you start taking your ASVAB, they're gonna bring you to some place called MAPS. So your recruiter has to drive you. So your recruiter is gonna drive you to MAPS, and at MAPS, that's where you're gonna take your ASVAB. So for me, that had me in a cafeteria. They call it a cafeteria, is where you like eat and stuff, and then you're gonna be in the cafeteria and just waiting. You wait for like an hour or 2 in the cafeteria, and they call your name. You go in the room, you take the ASVAB. The ASVAB will be like an hour. It'll take about like an hour to do. It'll take about like an hour to do. I took it like 3 times, so imagine that. The first time took me like an hour or 2. The second time took me like 30 minutes because like I understood it. But I got it eventually. I got a 24, and I added it. It was hard for me. So make sure you pass the first time, because if you don't pass the first time, then you gotta wait a month before you pass it again, for you to take it again. So once you pass it the first time, you wait for a month to pass, and you try to pass it a second time, and if a month to pass, you pass it the third time. If you do not pass it the third time, you're gonna have to wait for 6 months to take the ASVAB again. And even if you don't pass it the 6 months, you're gonna have to wait a year, and eventually it will build up. All right, make sure you pass it the first time to save some time. All right, and then after you pass that, they're gonna send you home. So for some kids, they had, for some kids, they were coming, like they took the ASVAB at the hotel. But how I did it, because I don't know, I heard some people said they took the ASVAB when they were at the hotel. But how I did it is I got to the hotel. Oh, so you wait. They'll tell you, it's like, okay, it's usually a week, and then you go to the hotel. The hotel, you stay at the hotel because you need to be at MAPS at 3 a.m. So, I don't know, it was like 5 a.m. What the heck? 3 a.m. So once you, and that's for 4 a.m. What the fuck? 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Once you're there at 4 a.m., because you gotta be there at 4 a.m., so they're gonna have you stay at the hotel. They'll feed you, depending when you get there. Now, I got there around dinner time. Some people there got there around lunchtime. It depends when you get there. They'll feed you lunch, dinner. You will not make it their breakfast. If you make it their breakfast, then your recruiter really wanted you to go, and somehow he didn't make that happen. But they will feed you. All you have to do is bring your stuff. They will hand you a piece of slips you bring to the bar, and you will get they will, like, oh, okay, so you're here with the military, and they'll hand you your free food, and they'll hand you a little menu that you could pick off of. Okay, so you stay there overnight. The next day, you get ready. You get to be up and out by 4 a.m. downstairs eating breakfast. And then you gotta wait till the bus comes. Right? They're gonna hand you a bus pass thingy. You gotta wait till the bus comes. Once you get on the bus, then you go to MAPS, and there you'll take your physical. So there, the physical, that's when you're gonna pee in a cup. That's when they're gonna draw some blood. That's when they're going to do all that stuff. Now, physical, for the ladies, they separate you from the guys when you have to do the physical. But basically, for the physical, they're going to make you do squats, they're going to make you waddle, they're going to make you touch your toes, they're going to make you stretch, just to make sure that you can do it. And they're going to make sure that you don't have diseases in your coochie. Alright? And they're gonna draw your blood, That takes about, it shouldn't take as long as it should, but it takes like about maybe 2 hours to do. It shouldn't take that long. But then you have lunch there, right? They'll feed you lunch. Alright? So once you get your lunch, then you do more paperwork. And you do a little interview. And then you swear in. Right? So once you swear in, you have a choice. If you're over 18, you could have it on Facebook Live. If you're under 18, you had to have your parents' permission. Alright? So when I swore in at that time, I was 17. So I didn't want a Facebook Live. Alright? But when I swore in the second time, I was able to go Facebook Live when I wanted to go to Facebook Live. But that was when I was on a boot camp. That's it. We're gonna get there soon. So once you swear and all that, they'll hand you packets saying basically congratulations. Now memorize this zilch. They're gonna hand you a starter guide. Make sure you memorize it. There's gonna be the Sailor's Creed, the ranks, the ships, the submarines. Memorize it, because in boot camp you would need it, especially your 7 general orders. You would need to know your fucking general orders. If you do not know your general orders, you're not going to make it through boot camp, and therefore you're going to get separated if you can't pass. Oh, but for one, if you don't know your general orders, you're going to have a hard time in boot camp, right? For 2, you're not going to be able to pass the test they'll hand you once you're in boot camp. And 3, you're just not serious if you don't memorize what they have in the starter guide. They will tell you to memorize this in the starter guide. It will literally say start on it. Memorize the Sailor's Creed, but that's what you're going to say at DEP every time you go there. Every time you go to DEP meeting, you're going to have to say the Sailor's Creed. So make sure you know the Sailor's Creed. You don't want to be the person that doesn't know it. Alright, now the DEP meetings. Next step will be the DEP meetings. So once you got in, now you went for your DEP meeting. But you go to DEP meeting until you depart off. Alright, so once you swear in, you get your departure date. Alright, and that's when you sign some more papers, and you get your departure date, you sign more papers telling your job, everything, and you have to agree, and you do signature. But once you done that, you go to that meeting. That meeting is usually depending on your office. For me, I had to wait like a week for my first that meeting, but your recruiter can come pick you up if you don't already have a ride. But you can drive there yourself, because I know some people that drove them themselves. Alright? So, go to those DAT meetings. The DAT meetings will make sure you know everything in your starter guide. They will train you. They'll work you up for the PRT. Now, the PRT is what you have to pass to get through boot camp. Alright? So once you pass to get through boot camp, you need to know your PRT. And your general order. You really do need your general orders, because it will tell you it so randomly too. Alright? It'll tell you the most random times. Like the really random times. So make sure you know your general orders. Okay? So they will train you on that. They will test you. Sometimes they do candy stuff. For me, they were handing $20 if you can invite people to join the Navy. So maybe something will happen like that with you. Got $20 and boom. Invite people. If you invite people, you get automatically ranked up, by the way. So once you, say you invited 2 people, then you're an E3. You're a seaman. So you start off with E1. Seaman recruit. E2, E means enlistment. You will get this in your starter guide. Is your enlistment, right? So once you do all that, you get ranked up. The more people you bring, but none of us was bringing people, so our chief said, you get $20 if you invite people. So there's a whole lot of people inviting people, and a whole lot of $20. But you got to be like the person that brings the most people before you start part off. You know what I mean? So now your DAT meetings, make sure you go to your DAT meetings. Now, if you can't make it to your DAT meetings, let them know ahead of time. Let your recruiter know ahead of time. You don't have to go to these DAT meetings. These DAT meetings will make sure that you still want to go. It's just a reassurance. It's like, okay, so you're still interested. That's good. Let's see how much you know. Let me help you. Alright? Basically, that's what DAT meeting is. Alright? So once you know your DAT meeting, you got your departure date, and then you go to boot camp. And our boot camp, let me tell you my story. I only was there for 4 weeks. First week, they put me in holding. So don't expect to go to boot camp right away. Alright? All because you made it to Chicago don't mean you're going to start boot camp as soon as you get there. They put me in holding. But when they do, as soon as you get there, they do have you line up. They do your call, and they'll hand you a card. Alright? So these cards will have, I think it was $500 on it. And you only spend it on base. So once you get these Eagle cards, they're called Eagle cards, they have $500 on it. And that $500 will go away quickly, because there's things you have to buy. You have to buy hangers, and you have to buy a watch. Just buy a watch, guys. There's no clocks anywhere. There's clocks, but you might want to get a watch too. Okay? Get those tiny little watches. That's $20. But, okay. So you get those cards, you do your phone call, you do a 30-second phone call. Call whoever you want to call, right? And then, after you're done with that, they'll scream at you, da-da-da. You're going to be up all night, making your sea bags. Your sea bags are the big green bags, making your backpacks. Your backpacks are the black backpacks you have on your bag. You get your back, so you get a green big bag, a big body bag. And then you'll get a little backpack. The bag is not little, but it's tinier than the sea bag. The sea bag is like a body. Okay? So once you fill that up, and trust me, baby, that's going to be heavy. They're going to have you hold it in your left hand. Yeah. They're going to hold you in the left hand. And you got to, okay, they're going to have you holding your left hand. Your sea bag, you just drag it well, you can put it on as a backpack. I dragged it. I dragged my backpack too because they're heavy. But your sea bags, so you just get a regular green bag, and then later on in that night, you'll do sea bags, and then you put in your shirts. You'll put in, like, everything you'll need. Iron shirts, toothpaste, everything, bras, underwear. We call them skivvies. Bras and underwears are skivvies. And if you didn't know that. Your shirts, your shorts, you do not get extra sweatshirts, and you do not get extra sweatpants. Alright? You're going to be wearing the same sweatshirt and sweatpants until you get your NWUs. And those NWUs is what is called the camouflage suits. Alright? We call them NWUs. So once you, you have boot camp. Alright, this is where I messed up. I was in Holden for 1 week. I was in PJs for the 2nd week. And then I got kicked out the 3rd week. And I was in separations for the 4th week. So technically I stayed for 4 weeks. You still get paid in separations, like da-da-da. I don't recommend you go on there because there is some badass kids there. Like, there was people, like, people will try to kill each other. And they're really fighting each other and stuff. I was not expecting that. I wasn't. But it is what it is. And this is it. I'm gonna lock it up. And this is the video of how to join the Navy. Make sure you study. Make sure you watch other videos like this. I really recommend you watch other videos like this. My name's Angel. And I'll see you in another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, show some love. This will be my 2nd video. Show some love. Thank you. And see you later.